Hi, I'm Jilly Briggs with the Subject Press, and today I am getting the privilege of speaking with comedic genius and just one of the funniest comics that I have seen, and I've seen a lot, Mr. Greg Behrendt. How are you doing today, Mr. Behrendt?
I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Well, first off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your hectic schedule to speak with us and to do this for all our Subject Press listeners out there. I know you have a really crazy schedule. I know you just mentioned you flew in from out of state, and you have another show coming up tomorrow, so I know you're really busy, and I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us.
Oh, yeah, no, it's my pleasure. Totally.
Well, now, recently, Caitlin Rose and I, one of our other Subject Press associates, journalists, and photographers, we did catch you at the Brea Improv, and we got really close seats. We made sure to get there early so that we can get really good seats, and we were right up front, and you were just absolutely hilarious. We laughed so hard, at everything you said. Your jokes were just so funny, and I love the fact that you have a lot of good family, clean jokes. Everything you said was just so fun and very relatable for people, that have kids and stuff like that, So it was absolutely wonderful. And a lot of people do know you as the person who co-wrote a self-help book called He's Just Not That Into You, which was adapted on the big screen, and it had a lot of Hollywood heavy hitters like Drew Barrymore, Jennifer Aniston, Ben Affleck. And I know that it was it Drew Barrymore's Lauer Films and Warner Brothers that adapted this into a movie?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And I think New Line Cinema and Lauer Films.
Nice. Now, this was originally a self-help book. Was this book meant to be made into a movie, or was supposed to be like a serious self-help type of book?
I mean, at the beginning, I barely thought. I thought it was barely a book. It was such. It was such a kind of fun, easy idea that we wrote. Because we were both fascinated with the topic and the idea that it's very easy to miss when someone doesn't like you, and maybe we would be able to shed some light on that. And my goal is to get it into Urban Outfitters, so everything beyond that was a success.
Nice. So yeah, and I know that you also have written several other self-help books as well. And now on some of those, it says here that you co-wrote one called A Breakup Because It's Broken. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So the first book I wrote with Liz Tuccillo, who was was the writer on Sex and the City. And after we had sort of unexpected success with it, there was an opportunity to write another book, but Liz was out. She was like, I don't want to write any. I think I've said as much as I want to say in the self-help world. And I said, well, I think I would like to write something about going through breakups since we just asked all these people to leave their relationship. And the idea really was my wife. So she had helped us a lot on the first book, and so we just got a deal, and we wrote, it's called A Breakup Because It's Broken.
Nice. How long did this take you to write?
Amira was pregnant with our second daughter during, it's called A Breakup, so, there were some fits and starts in there, but we got it done literally the day Mighty came out. We went into the hospital, but our due date was like 2 days later, and so we wrote a little bit. We finished it up in the hospital.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's definitely a story. You got a special hospital story there on the day she was born, right?
Yeah. And it was, she was a really easy birth, and she was little, and they sleep. And when she slept, we really wanted to hit our deadline because we wanted to get the book out. And yeah. But I think the first book took maybe 7 months to write, and the second one took a little bit longer, and the third book even longer. I think after a while, you want to make sure you're not repeating yourself, depending on the topic and how much information you have about it, or how much sort of research you have to do.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that you were new parents at the same time writing that second book, just in between when your child slept, that's when you're supposed to be sleeping. That's when you're supposed to catch up as well, and instead you were writing. That's amazing to do that a lot already as is, just being new parents. So that must have really taken a lot, as far as nonstop writing, that's amazing. And then now your third book that you wrote, that one's called It's Just a Date, correct?
Yeah, so that book was written, I had a talk show for a while, and as we were doing the talk show, we were working on that book, and then the talk show got canceled, and we got dropped by our publisher. We shelved it for a while, And then we thought, well, we own the rights to the book, so let's go back and see what we can do. And we put it out with a small independent publisher. And again, Oprah got a hold of it without a publicist or anything, just one of the producers that read the book. And then we went and taught a life class. So
wow,
kind of interesting. And that book had a happy ending because we had kind of a tumultuous relationship with the publisher, leading to our leaving them. So it was kind of a bitter thing. Like we were like, oh, we didn't want to revisit the book, and then we went and looked at it and went, this is actually pretty decent. Let's try and put it out. And it did really well, so that was good.
Well, no, that's fantastic because, I mean, sometimes it just goes to show not everything can be done just the mainstream way. Sometimes you do have to take that different route and just take your chance on doing that, and you can end up having a much more successful route, doing that. And it's a good thing you did, especially for the fact that there are a lot of people that are very much into those self-help books, and not everybody, is willing to go out and find that help somewhere and listen to someone or consult with someone. A lot of people will go and research it just for themselves privately. So to be able to have something out there like that for them just to be able to find and kind of go through, I think it's wonderful. Any type of, help like that for the community, I think is absolutely fantastic. I mean, honestly, is this something that you kind of it just seems like with all the books that you were trying to help people kind of not throw themselves into a situation that, perhaps is maybe too soon for them, maybe like kind of stop, take a break, look at what's going on around your life. Is that something you always like kind of wanted to do? And then like movies and things like that, is that something that just kind of happens secondary? Or is this you also aspired to wanting to turn these into something to do with Hollywood and movies and things like that?
I just wanted to be a stand-up. And I got the job at Sex and the City because the executive producer was a friend of mine and loved my stand-up. And then everything else came as a result of that. And so it was all kind of a bonus. I mean, I had never had an inclination to go into self-help for any reason. Mostly because I didn't know that I had, that I had it in me to do it. So we came by it very honestly. And then the movie stuff was just like, that's just what happens with anything that's successful. They want to see if they can turn it into something else. And so, say yes or not. I had a very loose grip around all of it, and that, like, people were like, did you like the movie? Did you not like the movie? I'm like, man, they made a movie. I don't care.
Right?
Who
cares? My name's on the script that I actually wrote that, and it's fantastic because at the same time, these aren't just self-help books. These are very funny. There's a lot of light humor in it, and I think that's funny because a lot of people need that humor. I use humor myself to reset my mind and stuff like that. And so I love to go catch comedians. I love to go watch people that can get up on stage and just give their all to make somebody else have a good time and just make somebody else laugh. And when we left, our cheeks were hurting. We were laughing so hard. Everything you said was just so hilarious, and it was relatable. It was so relatable to me in so many ways, and, especially, the thing that you're talking about, your child and the soda can. And that was just so relatable to me. I just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, I've had that incident happen before, And so I think it's fantastic. And now when you started doing all this, was it because you were that script consultant on Sex and the City for the HBO series, and that kind of like started all this for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was just I literally I'd been working there for like 4 years, or however long it lasted. It was at the very end of the run, and I was on a lunch break, and one of the girls was seeing a guy that wouldn't have sex with her, and said, "Do you think that's bad?" I mean, I genuinely asked a question from a friend who was going through something crappy, and then it ended up in the writers' room, and then it became, a part of an episode, and then that. Liz said, I think there's a book idea in this, and seeing as the show is done, maybe we should try that. So, I mean, it really was just this very natural progression of an idea that I think was bigger than me, really, and it really wasn't about me or whether I thought it was a book or not. It was this idea that maybe some people would be able to put a name on the malaise that plagued them. I mean, we wrote it, like I said, in a very loving way that was meant to be silly, and that it genuinely helped people was kind of a thrill, because I always hoped that at least my work would add up to something rather than just people finding me hilarious.
Yeah, so you wanted to leave a little bit more than that, and that's awesome, because I feel like you are. Everything that you're doing on this, I feel like you definitely are, and sometimes in life can just take a quick turn, a sudden left turn, and you have no idea where you can go and what can happen from there. And, if you don't mind, I know that Self had a health scare for a little bit. Is that something that you would like to maybe elaborate a little bit on, and maybe to help somebody else in that situation, how you kind of got through that?
Well, I was very lucky. I got through it because I had incredible doctors and because they've done such incredible work and research in the field. But I had a thing called non-Hodgkin's B-cell lymphoma. It was a cluster of tumors in my intestine. It had earlier been diagnosed, gas or something. It was a sort of undefinable pain in my stomach that caused bloating, and it wasn't until we did an MRI that they saw, there's some tumors in there. And but at that point, also, the stomach had gone from occasional to just a white hot heat of agony. But that's sort of how that cancer presents itself. There wasn't probably a whole lot that could have been done before, and then I went straight into a treatment of 6 rounds of chemotherapy over a 6-month period about, and that seemed to do the trick. And I've been cancer free ever since.
Thank God! Thank God. You're in remission.
But it also, and I think it's basic. People say, well, did you learn a lesson? And I say, well, prior to having cancer, I still try to do with our work. My wife and I and Liz and I is to give people the permission to be themselves and to live the life that they want to live before it's too late to not. And that, it's everything from your relationships to how you take care of yourself. And so the one thing I learned from cancer was that I felt like I really had done that, and that if I had to go, I was ready. I don't want to die. I didn't even know that I wasn't afraid to die, but when it came up, I felt like, I think I don't want to leave my daughters. I want to see them grow up, but I don't feel like any stone was unturned. I'm going to, no matter what point you leave it, it's not going to, it's going to be inconvenient.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I can't do that. I tell them I'm very open myself about being a differently abled family. I do have some kids, one of my child, is autistic and has severe epilepsy. So her life is threatened on a regular basis. We are the type of people that, you go out and do what you want, do the best you can, and be happy and live that life, because you need to have that up and fun stuff in between all the bad, and I think that's also why some people, as yourself, you have that gift that you can go out and make people laugh, but you can also turn around and write something that has a lot of meaning to it and something that people can relate to and might actually help them out a little bit. And laughter is always the best medicine, of course. So at the same time, just being able to get up there and make people just, have a really good time also is something that helps people. At least I feel, because it helps me too. And I really did appreciate the fact that you were so cool to us afterward. After your show, everybody is supposed to walk down the center, and I do know that because I am a regular at the Improv, but I kind of made my way over there when I saw you, that you were not quite in the green room hiding. So I ran over there really quick to you, and Caitlin Rose was there, and you were so awesome to us, to talk to us and take some pictures with us and just take that time to just hang out and just be that average person with us. It was so cool. It was like we left with like this really cool experience, and it was just really great for us. And I couldn't wait to talk to you today. I was very excited about today. So again, thank you for just taking the time, to talk.
Oh yeah, of course. It's funny though, maybe about a little over a year ago, I stopped going out after shows. Like I stopped going out into the crowd because I had sort of a panic attack one time, and only because I feel like the do stand up and you have this sort of experience with the crowd. I feel like I don't know if we need to do anymore. I always feel like if I stand out in the front, then it would be the way I say it would be like it'd be like if you had sex with somebody but then ran down in the lobby just to say, as a to let them know,
to go grab some peanuts from the snack machine or something, right?
Just on the way out, if you want a T-shirt, and we had a good time, right? And maybe the person doesn't want it. Maybe they didn't have a good time, but they just want to get out of the house before they, make eye contact. Or also, like I feel like it's a beautiful thing. We don't need to like that. But sometimes, if I'm standing around, like when I'm standing around the side and somebody comes over, I'll absolutely talk to them. I just don't want to make myself super available. Yeah, I just don't want to put myself in that way. So I was happy to talk to you because, I'm just a normal person too, and I like talking to people. But I don't like the idea of
of like you feel like you're going to have to put on a show after you put on the show, correct? Something like that.
Yeah,
it's like, be
also,
funny on the spot.
Yeah. Like I said, I feel like the experience should be that I talked and you laughed and we had a thing. It's very intimate. And, I'll let you leave with that. Because I could say something that makes you change your mind, or you might not want to, it's a good thing of like, look, we just had a nice thing. And then if it's terrible, I don't want to see anybody. So, and that happens too.
You should make sure to put that in another book. And at the end of the show, we got to make sure we leave on a good note.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah. Or we both leave with dignity.
Exactly, and it was fantastic. But I did take that chance because, again, you were outside. You were not in the room, but you were outside talking to another person, and we went by that way because I did want to let you know that we were there to write a review on the show, and I just wanted to let you know about that. And I did want to reach out to see if there was any possible way of maybe getting an interview of some form to go with it if that's, something that would be feasible for you, And I'm so happy that, that you said yes, and just so we get this experience to talk again because it was really great.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great.
Now, after all of this, I know that one of the things that I love is music. I am the music team leader for the Subject Press, although we do talk to all different people. It doesn't have to be just music alone. We do culinary and all the other stuff as well. But music is really one of my big major things. And I know you play in a rock band, or do you still play in a band?
Yeah, I do. I play guitar in a band called the Reigning Monarchs. We do sort of instrumental surf ska stuff, very Tarantino, I guess I would say, but with a little bit of a ska thing. No vocals. And then I also just I play with my daughters. I make little demos at home. I've just always loved it, and I've always liked music. Sort of what I wanted to. I started going towards show business as a career, but I just didn't have the chops, and I never found the right combination of people to do it. And then when I started the band later, I just wanted to do something that was super specific, that was something that really doesn't have a ton of commercial appeal, but it's just something I really like doing.
So yeah, I saw that and I was like, ooh, that really piques my interest now. And I was like, do you play where people can see you, or is that just kind of just for more of your thing?
We do play occasionally. We play every once in a while. I think we're playing Memorial Day weekend at the Hotel Cafe. I think we play when we get the opportunity to, but both of that, I'm in a band with some really excellent players, and they have bands that are their first career, and so they go and do that. But it's a much bigger, especially as you get older, it's a much bigger thing to get off the ground. If I want to do stand-up, I can get in my car. That's it. But otherwise you got to get gear, and you got to everyone's got to get there and you sound check and blah, blah, blah. And, getting people out.
Oh, yeah, it's
a lot of work.
It is very much a lot of work. That I definitely know. But I was just like, oh, that just sounded, that just totally piqued my interest. I was like, oh, you play music too. So next time you have, something where you're playing publicly, you should make sure to let us know, because I would definitely come out and see you. I would definitely come out and watch that, because I love listening to music, all kinds of music, So I just think that's fantastic that you can also do that on top of everything else, because your schedule's just crazy hectic. And now you have a show coming up already tomorrow, even on top of that. Let's talk about that. Where and when is this show going to be at?
So the Ontario Improv tomorrow night. My goal is, I'm trying to get ready to shoot another hour in the fall. Another maybe, I don't know if it's my last special, but if it takes as long between specials as this one did, it would definitely. I don't know if I'll still be alive. This is, but I want to put one more hour out, and so that my daughters can see me work. So I'm working on that hour. I'm putting that hour together, and I'm getting close. And so tomorrow night's just another night on the journey to that particular thing.
So are you recording then all of these shows that you've been doing recently? Then, so like an accumulative, it'll be an hour's worth of all the different shows put together. Is that what I'm hearing?
It'll be one set. I'm just
okay.
The set you saw, and then that'll evolve a little bit more, and it'll eventually be, one whole piece. There's things I'm still tweaking and, moving the order around and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Okay. Well, awesome. Yeah, so you heard that, folks. If you're out going that way, Improv at Ontario, make sure to catch Greg Behrendt. And what time is your show going to be at?
I think it's 9 o'clock. I think it's just one show. I think 9. I should really, I actually can look. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Did I catch you off guard? I'm sorry.
I forget that you have a phone. Go look. Don't be a dummy.
I do that too because half the time I'm using my phone for work, and then I'm not even thinking, I have to look this up. Oh, wait a minute, I'm using my phone. I do that too.
Yeah, it's at 8 o'clock tomorrow night on Ontario Improv.
Okay, nice. So then, make sure to come out and check him out. He will definitely cheer you up. I had the best time. We all did. We actually had a little group. It wasn't just Caitlin Rose and myself. We did go in a little group, but it was, oh, my God, we just had so much fun listening to you and everything. Like I said, it was so relatable and everything was just such a great night. So I definitely recommend anytime anybody see your name to make sure to go out and check you out, whether it's a show for your music, for your comedy, or for any of your, self-help books or anything like that. I think that's fantastic. Now, is there anything that maybe that we didn't really touch on? Is there anything that maybe you would like fans out there to know that, maybe that we kind of skipped over?
I'm working on a couple of podcasts. I had a podcast for a while called Walking the Room, and it did very well. It's a very popular podcast. But then my partner and I moved in different, some things just have to come to an end, came to an end. And I sort of fooled around and haven't really found anything, but I plan on doing a slightly relationship-ish podcast with the girl that you saw feature, I think, named Kate Willett, who's a 30-year-old single girl, and I'm a 54-year-old married guy. So it's just looking at problems, and it's called Why Are You Crying? So that's something I'm working on, and then I'm working on another one that'll be just about rock documentaries. It's just me and my friend Kay, who used to be in Letters to Cleo, talking about a different famous or new documentary, one every week, or depending on how many we decide to do.
Ooh, nice. Very nice. I'll have to share that then.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, if you put that up, we'll definitely share that for you because you're talking music. Now you're talking a lot more my language there. I've always been a big supporter of comics, and Brea Improv actually is like one of my little home away from homes. I've always gone down there even before I started writing, and I kind of grew up in OC Metal Band family of friends type of thing, So it's just something that's always been in my life. So yeah, you do that. You let us know, and we'll definitely share that and help promote that for you. That would be fantastic. I would love to do that.
And the last thing would be the Reigning Monarchs record, where he was putting out a 5-song EP called Cheetah Week, and that'll probably come out in June.
Oh, my gosh, that would be fantastic because you know what? Even though our main page is up and running, and we've been putting a lot of our shows up there, we do have on our main page that some of our other web links are under construction, but they're just about complete. And one of the things that we are almost complete with is radio, because the Subject Press is going to have radio. And for anybody that we feature that has music, our producer is going to be playing their music on the radio as well. So if you have that EP come out, then you just let us know or send us a link to that, and we can put that on the Subject Press radio because that's almost completed right now as we speak. So we have another way to promote.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I would love to do that. I'm sure once my producer hears this, she'll be jumping up and down and say, yes, definitely, because she's just about done and that's about to go up. So that would be fantastic. Now, is there, where can fans find all of your information? You have a lot of stuff coming up and a lot of projects. Then where can they go to find all this information about you?
I'm at Gregory Behrendt on Twitter. There's GregoryBehrendt.com. It has most of my tour information up there, and there's a Greg Behrendt Facebook page. So those three things are where I tweet. I'm not like a giant social media person, but I try and get my dates up there as much as possible.
Nice. Okay, nice. Well, now you know where to look. I myself did go and find all that site, and I looked through everything myself. But again, it's, I already know a lot about you because I do know a lot of your work. But now, I always do like to ask whoever I am speaking with, it doesn't matter what type of artist that you are, I always like to ask, what would you tell an aspiring artist, somebody who is trying to do what you do, to aspire to be a comic or a writer or, whatever it is that you're doing, what would you tell someone trying to break into that industry themselves? What kind of advice would you give them?
I would say work as often as possible and don't quit. And it'll all work itself out. It'll all become something if you and you won't have to make, people try to make so many decisions, and I can't do this until I think about this, and I can't do that until I think about this, and I'm not sure what this is. And it's like, if you just keep doing it, if you just stay at it, if you are persistent and you enjoy it, and you're doing it for the right reasons, which is that you enjoy it and you must be heard, or you must be seen, or you must be read, or you must be looked at, whatever your medium is. That's it. Too much preparation for something is really just a way of not doing it. So.
That's actually a good way to look at that. Never thought about that before. That's definitely a good way of looking at that.
Yeah, I think.
Look at my notes and look away.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people, once you start making stuff, people will say, "What is it? Explain it. Is it this or this?" And we're looking for this or for this. It's like you can't write it like that. If it makes sense, if it's like something that's already been done, then that thing has already been done. So if your idea feels wonky or weird, or where they don't have that, or I don't know where this would go, if it's something that really makes you laugh, it really makes you giggle, it really makes you think, it really makes you feel like this is what you want to do, follow that line of direction, because eventually, if you stay in it, you'll wish you had, because you're almost always right about what you know.
That's really great advice, and that's really, really sound advice. And it's advice I myself will definitely follow as well.
It's not easy. It's not easy. It's easy to say. It's hard to do, I know, but I've been my advice.
Yeah. I totally understand that. I definitely, it's always easier said than done, very much so. But I totally get that, and that's fantastic advice. Again, even something, like I said, advice that I would follow for myself. Because, I know not everybody's going to like my interviews. Not everybody's going to like or want me to talk to them or anything like that, but somebody else will. There's always something, whatever you're doing, there's always somebody out there who will find it fascinating, and there's always going to be somebody out there who won't like it at all. I get that. I get that totally. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Greg Behrendt, for speaking with us and taking the time to have our Subject Press viewers out there, learn a little bit more about you and to find out you're not just a funny man. There's a lot of layers to you, like an onion. You peel another layer and there's something there.
Well, that's very sweet of you, Jelly. Thank you very much. I enjoyed meeting you, and I enjoyed talking to you today. It was really awesome.
Oh, you just totally made my millennium. I'm like super happy, like I said, that I got to talk to you. I definitely follow comics, and I've always been a big supporter, like I said, of people who are willing to get out there and do this type of stuff for others, because it does take a lot. Like you said, it's not something you wake up one day and then it's done. It takes a lot of work. So I really appreciate that, even the time and effort that you put into it, and the fact that you took the extra time to talk to us on top of that, just to, out of your busy schedule, because just the show you have tomorrow and everything you're doing, I know you have a hectic schedule. So, even right now you're someplace picking up your bike. Was that correct?
Yeah, I was picking up my bike. So I take my bike ride tomorrow morning, and I'm going to go see my daughters.
So kind of caught you in between running errands and stuff. So thank you so much for making the time, and I really do appreciate it. Once again, this is Dilly Briggs with the Subject Press talking with Greg Behrendt, and tomorrow he will be at the Ontario Improv. Show starts at 8. Make sure to get there early, because at these improvs, they are first come, first seated, so they fill up fast. You want to make sure to get a good seat to see him. And Mr. Behrendt, when you get that music going and any of all that other stuff you said, you just let us know, and we'll promote it for you.
You got it.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
All right. You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.